Imagine a football tournament that literally started as a bloody slugfest between two continents and somehow evolved into a polished, multi-billion-dollar global spectacle. Pretty wild, right? Well, today, we're tracing the incredible 65-year evolution of the ultimate global club championship. If you love football history, tactical evolution, and the fascinating globalization of modern sports, you are absolutely going to love this explainer. Let's dive right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the original clash, explore the violently contrasting era of Beauty and the Beasts, follow the crucial move to neutral ground, and then completely unpack the global reboot and its brand new format.
Section 1. The Original Clash.
Okay, so the absolute mythos of this cup began way back in 1960. The premise was super simple but entirely exclusive. You pit the European champion directly against the South American champion over two legs, just to crown one undisputed king of world football. Over 65 years, it evolved dramatically from those chaotic home and away ties. It hit an absolute boiling point of violence in 1968, fled to the safety of neutral ground in Japan by 1980, and ultimately transformed into the massive, highly structured FIFA Global reboot we see today. It's literally the story of how a raw sporting rivalry had to adapt just to survive.
Section 2. Beauty and the Beasts. To really understand why this tournament had to change so drastically, you've got to look at the massive extremes of the 1960s. In 1962, you had the beautiful game at its absolute breathtaking peak. Picture Pelé pitching his skills against Eusebio, netting a stunning hat trick in Lisbon to win the cup for Santos. Pure, unadulterated skill defining the world's best. But fast forward just 6 years to 1968, and the beautiful game had effectively turned into a street fight. When Argentina's Estudiantes met Manchester United, the tie was marred by shocking, unapologetic violence. Manchester United legend Nobby Stiles was relentlessly targeted, punched, and headbutted. Even the great George Best was sent off after a massive scuffle. Skill was completely replaced by intimidation, defensive grit, and a win-at-all-cost mentality that legitimately shocked the footballing world.
But here's the thing. This brutality wasn't just mindless anger. It was weaponized strategy. Take a listen to this quote from Estudiantes player Carlos Bilardo talking about his famously intense coach, Osvaldo Zubeldia. Bilardo recalls how Zubeldia would stand right in the penalty area during set-piece practice, raise his hand, and flat-out refuse to end the training session until his players could hit his hand perfectly with the ball. That is obsessive, calculated discipline designed specifically to disrupt and completely dismantle the technically superior European giants. They knew exactly how to level the playing field, even if it meant leaving a few bruises along the way.
Section 3. Moving to neutral ground.
You simply cannot sustain a premier global championship when players are in literal physical danger. I mean, during that infamous 1968 clash, actual bombs releasing red smoke were set off in the Buenos Aires stadium. Extreme travel fatigue, combined with profoundly hostile partisan crowds, forced a massive, inevitable logistical rethink. So, by 1980, the intense rivalry was packed up and moved to neutral ground in Japan, and honestly, it was a masterstroke. Shifting to a single match in Tokyo saved the players' legs, completely neutralized the home field hostility, and drew massive crowds. A perfect example is the 1993 clash between Milan and São Paulo, which packed over 52,000 screaming fans into the Tokyo stadium.
And the old format went out with an absolute thriller. Imagine the tension. Yokohama 2004. Porto and Colombia's Juan Caldas battle through 120 grueling, scoreless minutes, leading to an agonizing penalty shootout. That 8-7 final score was the perfect, nail-biting punctuation mark on the exclusive Europe versus South America tradition. The book was officially closed, and the stage was set for something much, much bigger.
Section 4. The Global Reboot.
So, to fix the historical flaw of a two-continent monopoly, FIFA effectively blew the doors wide open. The modern Intercontinental Cup is now an annual knockout competition featuring the reigning club champions from all 6 continental confederations. This fundamentally matters because true inclusivity means that whether you are a diehard fan sitting in Auckland, Cairo, or Madrid, your local club now has a legitimate, structured path to becoming champions of the world. It's no longer a private VIP party, it's a truly global invitation.
And the appetite for this new, expansive global clash is just staggering. Over 67,000 fans packed into Lusail Stadium in Qatar for the inaugural 2024 final. They watched European powerhouse Real Madrid systematically dismantle Mexico's Pachuca 3-0, powered by megastars like Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vinicius Jr. the Intercontinental stage is clearly bigger and more commercially viable than ever before.
Section 5. Unpacking the new format.
Now, getting an invitation to this modernized tournament requires absolute regional dominance. Your golden ticket comes strictly from winning your confederation's absolute top prize. That means conquering the Champions League for Europe, Africa, and Oceania. It means hoisting the Copa Libertadores for South America, and it demands winning the Champions League Elite for Asia or the Champions Cup for North and Central America. 6 undisputed champions, 1 monumental stage.
But here's the catch. They don't all start at the same starting line. The tournament essentially operates as a grueling 4-step gauntlet. Phase 1 kicks off with the African-Asian-Pacific playoff. Phase 2 brings a massive regional rivalry, the Derby of the Americas, pitting North against South America. Phase 3, known as the Challenger Cup, forces the survivors of those first 2 phases to collide. And whoever manages to crawl out of that absolute dogfight, well, they enter Phase 4, facing the UFE champion, who is waiting comfortably with a fast pass directly to the final.
To keep the stakes incredibly high during these preliminary knockout phases, FIFA made a brilliant commercial and competitive move. They introduced 3 permanent official secondary trophies strictly for the intercontinental clashes. For instance, in 2024, Egypt's Al Ahly claimed the African-Asian-Pacific Cup in front of 51,000 roaring fans in Cairo. It ensures that clubs can take home official global silverware, celebrate historic moments, and generate immense pride, even if they never quite make it to face the European giants in the ultimate final.
When we look at this incredible evolution from its origins to today, the journey is truly remarkable. We've moved from a raw, highly exclusive battle that frequently devolved into brutal street fights to a polished, commercially structured engine of genuine global representation. The new format completely respects the rich, gritty history of the original Cup, while finally officially inviting the rest of the world to play.
But this new structure does leave us with a really fascinating, kind of polarizing debate to chew on. By handing the UEFA champion a fast pass directly to the final, is FIFA rightly protecting the tournament's prestige by guaranteeing the world's most lucrative, talent-heavy teams are always in the main event? Or does that systematic advantage inherently limit a truly level global playing field? As this historic tournament continues to evolve, that's a question the footballing world will undoubtedly keep arguing over. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep your eye on the pitch.